Hi, I'm Cindy Scambry. I'm the Assistant Director at Prime Life Enrichment, and this is episode 2 of our new PLE daily video. And this is...
Hi, I'm Gary Wagner, and I'm the Interim Executive Director of Prime Life Enrichment here in Carmel.
Well, thank you for joining me today. What we want to talk about today is what's happening at Prime Life now and why we've made the decisions. I know it was a tough decision with a lot of input from a lot of different sources, but it was ultimately came down to you. So I'm blaming you. No, I'm just kidding. So can you tell us why or how you came to this decision?
I'm happy to, because I think our members and friends and supporters, I think most of them, if not all of them, understand how serious the COVID-19 pandemic is, especially during this period of the holidays, with Thanksgiving now past and Christmas and New Year's coming up. So I worked closely with Marcia Clarebout, who's the president of our board of directors, and after much discussion, plus looking at what all of the experts and other organizations were doing and saying what we should do, it was a very difficult decision, but in the end, the decision to suspend the in-house fitness activities really came down to a priority, and that priority is the safety and health of our members and our staff.
Good. Well, one of our members asked me a very cogent question, and that is, what's the magic of the tentative reopening date of January 18th?
Well, there's not really any magic involved. It was more of a mathematical equation, if you will. At the time, the CDC and other health organizations recommended a 14-day quarantine if someone thought that they may have been exposed to the virus. And so I simply decided that New Year's Eve would be the last of the holidays, and so I went out 14 days, and I went to the first Monday after those 14 days, and that was the 18th. Now, since that time, the CDC has dialed back its 14-day recommendation.
I saw that today, yeah.
And we are looking at the possibility of opening our in-house fitness activity programs again, perhaps as early as January 11th. No promises, but we are doing everything we can to accommodate so many of our members who consider this to be their home away from home.
Cool. So to make it clear to everyone that's out there, if they're not already clear, we are doing online classes for the land classes now. So I know a lot of people, Betsy talked about it yesterday, that they take only aquatics classes, so we're trying to encourage people to at least to try some of those, because you don't have to be standing. I know one of the good reasons for being in water is the buoyancy, especially if you have trouble with balance and other things, but we've got that going. But we've just talked today about some possibilities of doing something else fitness-wise.
Right.
Do you want to talk about that?
I'd be happy to, because this was an idea that Cindy and our fitness director Betsy came up with yesterday, and we talked about, we met today and discussed all of the pros and cons, and it's still a work in process, but what we're looking at is the possibility of reopening our fitness class, reopening our walking track and our exercise/workout rooms on a very limited basis, on an appointment-only basis, much like the banks and doctors and dentists are doing now. And it'll be on a limited basis, but once we work out the details, we hope to start it by next Monday.
Yeah.
And we'll do it, again, assuming everything works out, we'll do it for 2 weeks, take a Christmas break, and then start it back up hopefully on the 11th, where we will go to more like what we were before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And so what might cause us not to be able to open on the 11th or the 18th of January?
Well, quite simply, it depends on the governor more than anyone else. If Hamilton County would become what they call a red county, versus the Orange County.
Which is what we are now.
Yeah, we are orange now. But if Hamilton County becomes a red county, then we would have no choice but to stay closed. In fact, we couldn't even do the limited activities. We'd have to go all online the way that we were from March until June. So I think, again, it's all in
fluid.
It's all fluid. That's absolutely right. That's a key word. It's all fluid. But we have a lot of people who are looking at the data and just trying to consider all the issues, pro and con. And again, what it boils down to is the safety and health of our members. I mean, we all wear a mask when we're in here. We practice social distancing. So we're taking every step we can to keep everyone safe, and that's really the bottom line, is that we want to keep everybody safe, but we also recognize the need to be socially and physically active as we go through this pandemic.
Yeah. So we also have other services, though, that we're still doing. Transportation, we're still doing the meals. You want to talk about transportation and how it might work?
Sure. In fact, I'm happy to talk about transportation because that's one program that we did not shut down, that it's still in operation. So if someone needs a ride to the doctor's office or to the grocery store, even if there's an essential trip that any of our members need, then they can still use our transportation service. We will also be offering that transportation service starting next week for the people who want to come to and from the classes, if we have them, not the classes, but the individual workouts or walking around the track. We'll do that on a limited basis. So if you need a ride to the center to do that, we'll be happy to pick you up and take you home.
Okay. And then let's say that my spouse and I live together and we want to come and walk the track together. Can we do that?
Oh, we think togetherness is really great when it comes to people who live in the same household. Of course, we will do everything we can to accommodate, again, people who live in the same household. Now, your next door neighbor doesn't live in the same household, so you wouldn't be able to bring your neighbor. They'd have to have their own separate time, but certainly you and your spouse could come at the same time.
Yeah, so anyone that lives in the same household. So college kids who come home for college, they're living with you right now between now and Christmas? No.
We love them all very much, but no.
Okay. Let's see if I've got any other questions for you. Well, no, but I have some news for you that everybody might be interested in. We are working on adding some new online social activities, working with some of our sponsors. For instance, Wellbrook of Carmel they have an idea to do a virtual book club. So we're going to be gathering some information this week about trying to maybe start that in January. They've also got a genealogy club that people might be interested in doing online. And then Dee and I are working with some playwrights here in Carmel.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah,
very
they
exciting.
have some 10-minute plays, and we're going to ask them, after they've done their one presentation that they still have scheduled to do, so mid-December they will be coming here presenting. And then we've just decided that we will talk with all the normal people who that come in and do presentations at our Wednesday or our Friday lunches, and see if individual folks would like to come in and present on live to our members, so that we're not only connecting virtually fitness-wise, but getting some other educational and entertainment activities coming out of this place.
Well, I think that's great, and I'm sure that our members and friends will appreciate everything that we are trying to do. I do want to take this opportunity to thank so many of our members who are certainly the most loyal members that any place could have. We appreciate all of the support, all of the encouragement, just a continued understanding of how we're all trying to get through this pandemic together. And again, we're not going to stop trying. We're going to keep doing new things, again, within the parameters of safety and health. But in the meantime, we just so much appreciate the response and the loyalty of our many, many members.
Okay, well, I think that's a good place to end. Thank you very much, Gary, for joining me today.
My pleasure.
And to all of you out there, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.